welcome to session 3.
Hi guys.
Today we're going to talk to you a little bit more about social media and following on from last week's session, give you some more practical tips on each of the different platforms that we recommend.
Yeah, so we are going to start by saying well done to everyone who's been coming to our sessions so far, because you guys have aced that challenge that we were doing last week. So putting some extra content out there for 48 hours and seeing how it drives website traffic. I know we've seen some websites up 27-28%, so that's really amazing. So really awesome enthusiasm. Today we are going to go a little deeper and we're going to try and hone that content to make sure that it really aligns with your brand and it's really building your brand in the way that you want. So rather than throwing something up for the sake of it, we're going to go into more of a how-to. So we're going to kick off with going through all the platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we'll talk about a few others that are lurking in the area as well. We're going to start off with Facebook. Facebook and Instagram, obviously now owned by Meta, so you can manage them together. And that's a really important aspect. If you want to save yourself time and energy, you can link them through the Meta Business Suite, which is a really awesome way to manage them. It means you can schedule posts in advance, which you don't have to do all the time. But if you want to, you can sit down and smash out a month's worth of really considered content with 3 posts a week, for example, and then intersperse that with more stuff as you go. So starting, how you make a good Facebook post and Instagram post. The same goes for both. Starting with a headline, so short and snappy to grab their attention. Don't be afraid to use emojis in small quantities because people are really used to those now, and it actually kind of breaks it up for people and keeps it interesting. You can also depict more emotion with something like an emoji than you can with words sometimes. So give them next, after the headline, so after you grab their attention, you want to give them the story, the why. This is where you can really add depth to your brand and convince people why they should be buying from you. So by this, we don't mean a wall of words. No one likes a wall of words, especially these days when people are glued to their phone. They're very used to short form content, so quick, bite-sized, easy videos and pictures. So you want to keep words separate. So like when you were a kid and you used to write, I remember being told off a wall of words. Don't forget what your English teacher told you when you're 8 years old. Break it down into paragraphs and make it easy to digest. The same thing applies. So next is contact details. So don't leave people kind of wanting more at the end of your post. If they've read to the end, chances are they are keen to work with you and buy from you. So always including things like a link to your website is key, your telephone number, your email address, or if they should come in and see you if you're a destination. So invite them to come in, invite them to check out what you're doing online. Don't be shy, it's not bragging, it's just giving them somewhere to go at the end of the post.
Yeah, I'd add to that, and like with the Facebook test that we've run over the last month or week, it's been designed to drive that traffic. When you give them everything in a post, there's often no incentive to then go and find out more over on your website. So don't feel like you need to write the blog post in your social media post, or that much content. Just keep it short and sweet, get them over to your website.
Perfect. And last but certainly not least is hashtags. So you don't have to use them if you don't want to, but they can be really valuable in helping your brand get discovered. So and how lots of people think of hashtags as really scary, but you just don't overcomplicate it and think about what people might be searching. So for example, using my treat as an example, gift boxes New Zealand, or well, not really gift boxes, that's more of box lane.
We go after those.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so like just breaking down what your brand really does. So using Christine's as an example, linen dresses, things like that. Don't overcomplicate things. New Zealand made. So this is where you can also pull out quite a few of your USPs, which is unique selling points. And that's where you can capture more people who are searching for those terms. So to summarize, Facebook and Instagram, a headline, a story detail, give them the why, contact details, and then some hashtags. Whether or not you should use Facebook or Instagram, if you're still even on the fence around that, it's important to consider that these platforms aren't new anymore. They're not just for teenagers. So the average age on Facebook is 40, over 40 actually, and the average age on Instagram is 34.5. So those are people who they're working, they've got, excuse the leaf blower that's going on outside if you can hear that. That's hilarious. So yeah, it's important to remember that those are the people who are working, having children, they've got the money, they might be building houses, they're shopping online.
And Facebook makes it so easy for you to target those particular interest groups or life stages as well. So not just for kids anymore. Next, we're going to delve into reels and how to make a good reel. I really want to turn the camera around and show you this chap with his leaf blower. He's literally this far away from us.
So, reels, let's talk about them. The reason that reels are becoming so popular and so crucial to your marketing is that not only are videos kind of more engaging, you can showcase a lot more through a video than you can a still photo. The movement actually makes people stop on the feed. If they know they have something there that's going to entertain them instantly without even having to read anything, it's just really easy to digest content and a great way. Like, think about, we used to be limited to like really expensive television adverts that would cost tons in production and then a few $100,000 to actually buy those media slots. Now you have your very own platform to feed people video content, and it's really cool. The other reason to pay a lot of attention to reels at the moment is it is Meta, Facebook and Instagram's way of competing with TikTok, which is a pure video platform. TikTok users are going through the roof at the moment, and so they're really trying to compete. So that means that when you share video content, Instagram and Facebook generally prioritize that and send it out to more people that they think are going to like it. So you might notice, if you started already, that reels can get a lot more hits and a lot more likes than just a normal post. And they're also pushing it out to the Explore tab. So that's where you reach people who aren't your followers or aren't your followers yet. So you're a lot more likely to get discovered. And if you do go into your Instagram analytics, it's very clear new followers versus existing followers and how they come across your brand. And you'll find that reels are really effective for targeting new followers. So how to make a good reel. Ditch the theory for a minute and just do a quick how to. Capture them in the first 3 seconds. So that's your window of opportunity. And if you can, even 1.5 second, 2-second clips, mix it up, show them that there's more to come. And you can also, it means you can show people more in a quick space of time. So don't feel like you need to make a really long 30-second video or anything like that. Actually, the shorter the better. So which brings me on to point number 2. Keeping them short as a rule is really good, because you can tell people a lot in sort of 9 to 15 seconds. That's the kind of length that I recommend. And the other factor is that if people watch it to the end, the platform thinks people like this video, they've watched it all the way to the end. It not only leaves people wanting more, but it means that Instagram will probably push it to more people if people have watched it to the end. Use banging music. Not necessarily banging, but depending on your brand. This is a really interesting one. So the way that you can effectively reach people with music is you can use trending songs, and Instagram will tell you which songs are trending with a little upward arrow. That's really awesome. But what's also important to consider is your target market. So there might be a song trending that's like a banging rap tune. If you're, target a middle-aged woman, might not really work that well, but choosing songs that they will like and find nostalgic. So Rosie, you could probably share a really good story, but songs from like 80s, 90s, Spice Girls, when you're targeting women of a certain age, they absolutely love it. So
That 70s show is a good one because it kind of captures 2 demographics on the way through. Like it's got the OGs, especially for my trait, like those OG 60s babies who subscribe, and then you've got the people who were watching it in the 2000s as well coming through. So
Yeah, so that's really important. And before we move on, if you're struggling with music or you can't find good songs or songs that you consider good or interesting, what you might need to do is go into your profile, and we can take you through this, and change your account settings from a business account or professional account to a creator account, and that gives you access to all the licensed music in the world. So that's how you get really good songs rather than just the kind of generic original audio ones. Last but not least, a reel is still a post, so it will end up on your feed. So do take the time and use the option to make the front image nice, because that will entice people after you've posted it, whether or not they want to watch that video from your profile. So bear that in mind. Also remember that it is a post. Don't leave it blank. You still need to add a caption. So like we talked about before, a headline, give them the story and the why, give them a link, and use hashtags. So don't, I've seen this happen quite a bit. Don't just leave the caption blank for a reel. You still need to add the words.
And there's an example that we've got on how to post a reel, and it includes at the end as well, just tagging any partner suppliers or brands that you can work with. So give them an incentive to share your content and some more fresh eyes as well.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And yeah, partners are really important. So just tagging anyone that's relevant. Tag us, tag Rosie or I if it's relevant and you'd like us to share something. We're more than happy to. And that gets your content out to a few more hundred followers. So the other thing that's a really, really easy win is after you created a reel, click the little paper airplane and add it to your story. Really, really easy. So the content's working twice as hard for you, takes 2 seconds. Yeah, and it's really, really good. Get more eyes on it. Moving on to TikTok, which I know is a platform people love to hate, and it's it's not really new anymore, to be honest, but it might feel quite new, and certainly new to people of a certain age. So the average age on TikTok is between about 10 and 19, but it's already getting older. So that 18 to 24-year-old crowd are really big on it too. And there are a lot of silent users as well who are older, who might have started watching TikTok to see what their kids are watching, see what their teenagers are watching. And it's actually really addictive. Like, there are lots of crafty things on there, lots of interior design, lots of travel, like huge amounts of travel, like inspiring videos. And the great thing about TikTok is it feeds you what you like to watch. Like, the algorithms are very smart, and it doesn't just show you content, you know, just willy-nilly. It learns very quickly what you like, and so your videos will be shown to people that they know will like them. So it's very clever. They kind of do the marketing for you in that regard. But first and foremost, don't be nervous. You can't really get it wrong. So worst case scenario is not many people watch a video. It's not that scary. So do log in, even if you don't plan to use it hugely or immediately. Log in, create an account, and just watch some videos. See what's out there and see what other brands are putting out there. So have a search and see if any of your competitors are on there, or even just brands that you like. So it's a funny one because lots of people aren't on it yet. So it's still really interesting, but a lot of the kind of leading brands in New Zealand are. So if you get on it sooner rather than later, it could be hugely beneficial. It's not just funny dancing. As I've touched on, there is heaps of kind of travel content, inspiring content. There are lots of dances and things like that, but that's not it. You don't have to do funny dances or even put your face on there. You can just feature your brand, feature your products, yeah, and it still works really well. There are a lot of silent users, like I mentioned, so don't just think it's just teenagers. There are a lot of older people out there just watching TikTok. So that's something really important to bear in mind. It is a little bit like the Wild West out there on TikTok. So it's not, your production value doesn't actually need to be really flash. And that's something really important to remember. So don't overthink it. There are a lot of, you know, real dusty videos, terrible lighting. I mean, don't go out of your way to make them look messy, but you don't need to worry too much about them looking flash. And again, keep it simple. So similarly to Reels, keep it short, sharp, do add words, and pick some really, really good music. And I think...
I'll just talk a wee bit about when we work for clients and they want to increase their brand presence or their sales and traffic through social media. We obviously set them up with the content planning system, so that allows you to take those key messages that you guys worked on last week and set them out in a series of posts across the month, and then just work backwards from that. So if you are struggling to find the time to post on the fly, which we completely understand, like Amy said, plan out a couple of posts, 2 or 3 a week for the whole month, using those key messages that you've got and unique content for each of those, and just fill in the gaps. And we will provide a content planning calendar so that you guys can have a template for that. And we encourage you to add as much detail to it as you possibly can, because we're going to cover email campaigns and ads and other types of traffic driving activities that you can use. But that content planner, if it's outlining the marketing activities you're doing, you'll be able to go back and see on those weeks that you had a fantastic week of traffic or sales, what activities were happening over that period and how can you double down on them.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. So the sort of ever so slightly deeper level of the practical side of social media is like you guys are doing already. So watching this video, it's taking the time out of your business to work on it, not in it. So it might seem a bit indulgent or time consuming sitting down and writing a content calendar or filling one in, but it's really important to consider, so what you've got going on in your business. So like Rosie said, the key messages are really, really important. And then we need to wrap that around with content that's focused to get people engaged. So we want to think about what other big brands are talking about, what's happening locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. So in the local column, it might be that this is your last weekend to get up skiing, which I know Rosie's really upset about. But so spring skiing messages, it is spring, so utilising that. That also means, so think about the international column, that means that Christmas is only 3 months away. So if Christmas, the summer holidays, anything like that are really, really relevant to your business, which I imagine they would be. So even in terms of like whether you're selling wine, whether you're trying to get people to come and visit you, whether you're selling summer clothes, whether you're selling houses. So summer's a really, really busy time for everyone, but thinking about it, recognizing that it's 3 months away and working your way back is a really, really nice way to stay focused and not let that kind of busy summer season get to you. So starting thinking about it now. And as Rosie said, we'll send you a content planner that you can fill in yourself. It also gives you ideas for things, even like it being a Monday or a Friday, that Friday feeling. You can structure things around the week, the weekends, just so that you kind of strike people with content that's relevant.
Amazing. All right, we'll send you the links shortly, and I hope you've enjoyed and taken away a lot from it. We're really excited to see the changes over the next few weeks and the type of content. We've been excited to see what's coming out over stories and the amazing links and bios and everything, but we think if we can just tap in a little bit more to the messaging and how we use each of those platforms to drive that traffic, it will probably mean that the traffic stays on your site longer and does more of what you want, which is purchase or book, right? So,
and probably last but not least, do hop over to Digital Boost. So you guys logging in and watching a couple videos, it's not only really good just to remind you of what's going on and reiterating these messages, but there's also an offer at the moment. You have to watch 2 videos, I think, before 8th or 9th of October, and you go in to win something crazy like a $25,000 advertising credit. So definitely worth doing. Just a couple of videos.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Cheers, guys.